They say money makes the world go round, but how much money do you actually need to survive and thrive on this big blue planet? Well, that's subjective. One thing that's certain is the value of money differs depending on where you are in the world. In some parts of the world, $20 is enough to feed your family for a week. In others, only enough to pay for 2 drinks at the bar. Your job may earn you enough to live comfortably in Thailand, but leave you totally broke if you lived in Los Angeles. Your geographical location determines how you're able to spend your cash and the quality of life it'll afford you. Luckily, a post-pandemic world has opened up the opportunity for individuals to figure out how to best navigate work life. No longer bound by a soul-sucking 9-to-5, a study revealed that 4.4 million Americans quit their jobs in September 2021. Now, more than ever, remote work has given people the freedom to travel and adopt nomadic lifestyles. Who hasn't thought about packing up shop and exploring the world in search of happiness? The Dalai Lama once said, "Man sacrifices his health in order to make money. Then he sacrifices his money to recuperate his health." So where will your money stretch the furthest? Which mega hubs will have you stressing over the bills? Join us as we reveal what $1,000 will get you in different parts of the world. London. A metropolis full of history, London is an economic and cultural hub home to over 9 million people, a major financial, education, and arts center. London's global influence makes it a competitive and somewhat expensive place to live. You would need at least $50K a year to live comfortably in London. Are we surprised that this English city has some of the world's highest property prices? So, how far will $1,000 get you in London town? Average rent prices in London have increased 11.5% since 2020. Living in this city isn't cheap. London is home to some of the world's most famous zip codes. Your $1,000 won't even get you a humble 2-bedroom flat, which can cost up to $2,000 a month. If you're lucky, you could find a roommate to split the rent with or try to find a cheaper place just outside of city limits. As long as you don't mind traveling long distances every day, you could make it work. And speaking of travel, ever fancied jumping on the back of one of those iconic red double-decker buses? Well, a single ride will cost you $2. Most Londoners use an Oyster card to get around the city. It'll cost you £5 for the card, and you can top it up as much as you want. Or if you want to splurge your cash within a week, grab a famous black taxi and enjoy your $3 per kilometer charge. We can't all ride around Notting Hill like Julia Roberts. Some people have to settle with riding the tube. You'll realize how expensive the cost of living in London is when you add up all the weekend drinks you'll be enjoying with friends. Beer culture is real in London, and soon you'll find yourself in a cozy pub quickly racking up a hefty bill. A pint of beer will cost £6 on average, so after 4 drinks, you've already spent half your weekly grocery budget. Groceries that will cost you roughly $400 a month for 2 people. When you add this with your travel bills, rent, and casual purchases, you might realize surviving on $1,000 a month in London might be difficult. Bali. On the other side of the world, however, the tropical paradise of Bali may be a little more suited to your budget. This Indonesian island is famous for its lush green jungles, beautiful beaches, and gorgeous weather. Tourists, yoga fanatics, digital nomads from around the world all flock to Bali each year, drawn in by the island's immense beauty and cheap prices. In fact, stats show Bali received 6.3 million foreign visitors in 2019, making it one of Southeast Asia's hottest destinations. Here, $1,000 a month will let you live somewhat comfortably, giving you plenty of time to explore ancient temples and soak up the local culture. One night in a clean and cozy hotel will cost you $9 on average, while a small studio condo by the sea will set you back $500 a month, excluding utilities. Utilities you could easily afford with your leftover change. Just remember it can get hot and humid in Bali, so you're probably going to want an air conditioner or a fan. Expect to pay at least $150 a month on electric expenses and $50 for water and gas. Compared to other mentions on this list, the cost of living in Bali feels achievable. Of course, you'll need to account for unforeseen costs like visa permits or medical bills, which you can expect will tighten the budget at times. But this is okay because the food on the island is super cheap. You can get a warm bowl of noodle soup for as little as 80 cents or a delicious nasi goreng for $1. Bali is a food lover's dream. We doubt you'll go hungry here. Fresh fruit and vegetables are sold on every street corner for crazy cheap, and local supermarkets offer reasonable prices on essential items. Who knew our dreams of escaping to a faraway tropical island were so easy to achieve? Oh, and you won't have to fork out on annual vacation flights. Living in Bali means you're permanently on vacation. Remote work has given people the freedom to live in places where their wages are better spent, and it's no surprise a ton of people are heading to Bali. As American writer Rita Gelman says, you can spend 5 months in Bali for what you'd spend in 1 month in Europe. Paris. Ah, Paris. This iconic city draws in countless people from around the world with its beautiful tree-lined boulevards and romantic promises. This French city is famous for its great food, esteemed fashion houses, and fine art. Much like London, Paris is a major player on the world stage, and living in this European city doesn't come cheap. Your $1,000 allowance won't even get you a one-bedroom apartment in Paris's city center, which can cost around €1,200 a month on average. And while that sounds doable on a couple's budget, don't even consider renting apartments in the 7th, 8th, or 16th arrondissement. Accommodation in these areas can cost over $4,000 a month, and you'll likely be rubbing shoulders with the city's bourgeoisie. Considering you somehow managed to score yourself a discount accommodation or a few weeks on your rich aunt's sofa, what else can a grand get you in the city of love? How about as many pastries as you can stuff in your mouth? Paris has some of the world's best restaurants and cafes, and there's plenty to choose from. Begin your day with a fluffy croissant. This classic pastry is a breakfast staple in France. Affordable and delicious, you won't break the bank as these babies cost as low as $1. The average price for a cup of espresso in Paris is about $2.80, but if you're trying to live your best life, the city's most expensive coffee can be found at Window Sky Bar for $13. And what about enjoying some of France's many cuisines? Depending on where you choose, a plate of escargot can cost between $20 and $40 per person, and a box of melt-in-your-mouth macarons will set you back another $13 to $27. Who cares how you're going to afford a ride home? Spend your day strolling the city's beautiful avenues, enjoying your French cookies, blissfully ignorant of financial responsibility. Nothing's gonna get in the way of our Parisian fantasy. Thomas Jefferson once said, "A walk about Paris will provide lessons in history, beauty, and the point of life." And while we'll be walking on foot, those who are visiting Paris can jump on the city's metro line to get around. Or if you don't mind paying a substantial sum for a 10-minute drive, jump in a taxi and finally make your way to the Louvre. We'll meet you there. New York. New York, New York, a cultural melting pot and economic powerhouse. This concrete jungle is arguably the most famous city in the world. Wall Street, Broadway, and bright yellow taxis probably come to mind when you think of NYC. Known to transform people from rags to riches, so many people arrive in this city with nothing and end up making a life for themselves. After all, this is the birthplace of the American dream. But how much is that true today? What could a $1,000 monthly allowance get you in New York City in 2021? Well, not much. Monthly rent for a one-bedroom Manhattan apartment can cost upwards of $2,000 on average. And guess who's broke again? Countless New Yorkers leave the city every year because the cost of living is just too competitive. Are we surprised that digital nomads in America rose to 10.9 million in 2020? When your pay can have you enjoying a higher quality of life in sunny Bali, why would you stay in one of New York's shoebox-sized apartments? And say that you found a miraculous $500 apartment in the Bronx or Brooklyn somehow. What can we spend the rest on? A slice of famous New York pizza the size of your face costs $3. Or if you're feeling fancy, dine at the opulent La Bernardin, where the meals cost over $140. Just don't ask us to split the bill. Additionally, New Yorkers spend roughly $300 a month on groceries and $200 a month on taxis, and that's just food and transport. We won't even mention how much you'll need for a night out with friends. New York's cultural significance makes it a hugely popular place to live, so it should come as no surprise that this is the only city in the world that's home to over 100 billionaires. If you can't afford a yellow cab, using the city's not-so-sanitary subway system is always an option. They say this is the city that never sleeps, and it looks like our wallets aren't going to get any rest either. $1,000 may not get you very far here, but luckily there are places it will. Your dream of becoming a nomadic traveler is easier to achieve than you think. Go ahead and book that one-way flight to a faraway island in the Caribbean and live the life you deserve.